Good morning, welcome to JDCars, and firstly, sorry I've not been uploading daily. I've missed the last 2 days, but I've been a bit busy over the weekend, so I've had nothing to film. But we're back, and we're coming back with the daily content hopefully, and something a bit different because, well, mostly, you know, I talk about cars on this channel. It is a car channel at the end of the day, but I thought I'd introduce something new. I'm going to talk about cameras a bit more because that is sort of my second passion. So I thought I may as well incorporate it into the channel. So today we're talking about my old camera and the Nikon b500. Now the b500 is a cross between a point and shoot and a super zoom camera, meaning it's basically just get it out of the box, point it at something and take a picture, that easy. And a super zoom meaning it can go from 1x zoom to 40 times without changing any lenses. Now that makes it really good for, say, track action. Now Japfest is a perfect example for that. When I was getting shots on Donington Circuit, a lot of the time I was swapping out lenses between being actually in the show area getting pictures and shots of cars, or then going around the track and actually getting the cars. Now to do that I'd have to go from an 18-55 to a 55 to 180 on the Nikon D5000. There's a video coming with that, whereas something like this I can just zoom in and out as I wish, really easy. Now unfortunately, to go with it, this thing does not have image stabilization, which means unless you've got a tripod, shots like that, especially in video, are really shaky and means a lot of the time the shots aren't as good as they could be. Now if you're using, say, an SLR, it means you can have image stabilization, but it does mean you're gonna have to be swapping out lenses a lot, especially with what I've got, the 18-55 kit lens, then the 55 to 250 lens. Now whilst the image quality is going to be better on an SLR, this is going to be a lot more practical, and especially for someone starting out like me, this is just a godsend. I mean, I love these, are like the best things ever. So yeah. Now obviously this is a beginner's camera, so it has a beginner price tag of £200 brand new. Now if that is still a bit much, which 200 quid is a lot of money, you can get them off of eBay for about 150 quid. So great camera for the money, and because it's a beginner's camera you don't have to mess around with changing settings to get the picture you want, as just stick it in auto and picture done like that. Very easy, it does all the work for you, which is actually unlike Nikon's because they do like to let you have a lot of involvement, which is a lot better for photography but not necessarily for video, but we'll come to that later in this video. Now this being a Nikon, it is more suited for photography rather than videography, hence why we've now on a Canon, because, well, it's more suited to video but it will do both. More suited to photography, the images are really good on this. It has 16 megapixel, I can't remember what sensor it is, for a beginner camera, really good. It means we're getting very clear images. Now I stopped using this roundabout supercar driver time for photography. That was sort of the last show I used, but the image quality was absolutely amazing. I mean, my favourite picture from this was probably the black F12 at that show, just because it was the first picture I edited on my new editing software, which is PhotoScape. I will leave a link in the description to that software. It is amazing, especially considering it's a free software. The amount of effort that they've put into developing that is amazing. So if you're a photographer, go check that out, link in the description. Now, as I said, this is predominantly a photo camera, however it does have video quality. Now this thing does actually record in 1080p, which is what this thing records in now. However, this being an SLR, we do have a lot more options now. I mean, as you can see, that's fairly everything in focus, but there we are, I'm in focus and that clock isn't. So that is something that you don't get on this until you get into the really high depths of zoom. In fact, I will put in a clip now of me zooming. Right, now I've got the door closed because there's people playing music and, well, I don't want to get any copyright strikes. So yeah, as you can tell with the audio, because the microphone's in the back, I am very loud now, which is very annoying, so I'm sorry. But here's that zoom, so as you can see, 1x zoom, no zoom at all. So I mean, it is a bit slow, but you can see now into digital as well. So you can see pretty much perfectly that box. Now there is no image stabilization, so it is quite shaky, but to say I'm stood in my conservatory and that's right up the other end of my garden, really good. And if we go to digital, where the quality comes in down a bit, that is a 10x digital zoom, and you can see that handle. Now come back in. Now this is a bit slow and it does make a bit of noise, so I'm sorry. So yeah, that is the zoom on this camera and audio test, so 2 in 1. But as you can tell, zoom really good, audio terrible. So if you're looking for a video camera, look for something else or something you can fit a external microphone to. But photography, best camera, especially if you're a beginner. Now, I have been recording this in 1080p, but all the videos are in 720p. I think that's just down to the way I was exporting stuff, but now my videos are in 1080p on this camera, so you might have noticed a bit of a step up in quality over the last few videos. Now, as well as recording in full 1080p, this thing will record at 25 frames per second, which is not a lot. This thing records about 50, so, but that is a big price jump because, well, at the start of the scale, between about 200 to 500 quid, you're getting a lot more for your money, meaning a quality jump even more. Whereas you go from 500 to say 1,000, the more you pay, the less of a quality increase you get. But that's just because we're already on the top end. I mean, this is a 24 megapixel camera. Not that that's important. I will make another video explaining that. Now, but yeah, does have video qualities. I mean, it's mainly photography, as I've already mentioned, but every video I have ever filmed for this channel has come off this, other than the Tiguan video, which was a bit bad, I know, but that was the first video I ever uploaded, I think. And then we've got stuff like cars revving at Supercar Driver last year. They were all shot on one of these Samsung Galaxy S6 with a Suzuki with a cappuccino wallpaper. And whilst we're there, Project Cappuccino should be coming between Christmas and the New Year, because that's when everything around the car, like basically the lot we film it on, it's really busy. So around Christmas, New Year is when it's really quiet, so hopefully that video is coming then, so make sure you're subscribed. So because it is predominantly a beginner camera, it has, like most cameras nowadays, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, meaning if you download the Nikon app, if you download SnapBridge, that means you can transfer pictures straight from your camera to your phone in a matter of seconds. Now, starting out, that was really important to me because that was pretty much the main selling point to the camera. Now, that basically meant instead of me having to take the picture onto the laptop, onto the phone, which was very time consuming, just put them onto this, connect it all up, onto the phone, onto Instagram, straight away. So that became really important. Now this camera does have it, but I don't use it because, well, basically I only use this so I could edit on my phone, because at the time I didn't have any editing software, whereas now I do, so everything gets edited on my laptop, which is right here. Yeah, now unfortunately the only downside with that app is that it's quite difficult to connect it. Now whether that's just because I'm an idiot and I don't really know what I'm doing, the setting is very deep into the settings of this, which I'm not going to go into too much because I don't really understand it all. But I mean, my dad's still not got it configured to his phone yet because he's using this now. But it's really difficult, so beware of that if you are looking at it. But it is a really good app, and again, one of the main selling points for this camera. So that is the end of this video. I do hope you've enjoyed more tech review or camera stuff on the channel, because I am looking at incorporating a lot more of that, because as I said in the start, it is like my second passion, so expect more. I am going to be doing a D5000 video which is my main photography camera before this. Yes, I take pictures and video on the same camera. I'm sorry for everyone that gets annoyed by that. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, drop a like or leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time.